Hello there everyone of all different genders, identities, sexual preferences, and everything in between. The newest edition of episode 51 of Weird Mind Newsroom, where this week I'll be delving into some of the more small amount of new releases this week, a couple of trailers, and some news stories that are kind of varying in length. And we'll be delving into all this now this week, so let's not waste too much time, and let's get right into it then, shall we?
What a wonderful day!
Now what a wonderful day indeed it is for a new generation of the world of advanced species, as for the first new release and the big release of this week, we're heading generations into the future to delve into the new entry of a film about smart primates with the new film of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now this film is set in the same timeline as a recent reboot trilogy and set 300 years after the events of war, and follows a world where apes have evolved and used the base of human technologies and cultures that the prophet ape had taught them, while the remnants of the humans have resorted more to a feral state. But when a colony of apes is captured by a powerful ruler, Proximus Caesar, who twists and warps the teachings of the past, a young ape named Noah will go on the journey with a human woman named May to help rescue his colony and the process determine the future for humans and apes to coexist. Now, the reception of this film, like the previous entries, have been very well received from the respect and continuation of the story, the visuals, the cinematography, and the continuing story for the future of the saga, with some critiques with some plot being a bit generic here and there. I have seen it as well, as I was invited to the premiere this week, and I say I would agree it is a great entry in the series after being worried with the director change, but I would recommend the film for sure, and the review for that will come along soon. But if you want to check this film out yourself, you can catch this new film out now in cinemas. On the gaming side of things for this week, we are delving into the world of gods and mortals and hacking and slashing your way through the underworld, as after a bit of anticipated wait, we now have the early access release to the sequel of Hades. Now in this new game, you play as Melanie, princess of the underworld and sister to the first game's protagonist of Zagreus, and you will go on a quest to defeat Kronos, the titan of time, with the aid of some other powerful gods of Olympus. Now, even in an early access form, the game has been getting very well praised reception from critics, with praise to the continuation to what made the original such a beloved game, with new additions being a great new addition. All different aspects, anything new is great praise. If you want to try it out for yourself, then you can check the newest version now on early access on PC. And the last of the new releases of this week is something that will be a little piece of comfort with the focus of an adorable feline protagonist, as we have the new game of Little Kitty Big City. In this new game, you will take on the role of a little black cat who ends up getting themselves lost in the big city, where it is your quest to get them home. Now, reception on this has been well received, with praise for the graphics, its customization options, and the peaceful little adventure you can go on, with some critiques mainly towards like the camera controls and functions. But if you want a new game with an adorable new kitty, then you can play this new game now on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC. With all that, that's all the new releases that we have for this week.
For the Goyles?
So starting off with the trailers for this week, with a new film I'm surprised has had a very minimal amount of marketing for, when you think this film's franchise would have had the entire movie shown in marketing by now. But they seem to be reducing it down lately, as we've now received the second trailer for the newest entry of Despicable Me 4. So this new film will see Gru being at a good point in their life, with a loving wife, 3 young Goyles, and now a new son, the form of Gru Jr., being the case that they did the despicable to Lucy, as well as a job at the AVL and some of his small yellow henchmen. However, that peace becomes compromised when supervillain Maxime Lamal has escaped from prison and wants vengeance against Gru, and soon will have to go into hiding to protect his family from danger and find a way to solve this issue. Now the focus of this trailer is more on the minions than on Gru in this one. This reveals a concept that was actually spoiled about maybe a couple of weeks ago by Lego sets, which gotta add this to the list of films that were spoiled by Lego sets, because they show that Minions getting a few new powerful additions, which are the basis of them becoming the Mega Minions, basically all different forms of, like, you know, long arms, heat vision eyes, and bulky aesthetic kind of thing. But I hope that it turns into a decent film and not for the likes of a bit of a cash grab, but I'm sure we'll find out when this film releases in the cinemas on July 12th. Now, if you have been living where I have been, and I've also a case noticed where it's been very calm and you can see a bit of the Aurora Borealis, and notice a bit of good weather lately, this film is probably something you would not want to see currently turn it into after very quickly, as we received a new trailer for the newest entry of a reboot/sequel to the mid-90s storm disaster film of Strong Winds with Twisters. This new film will follow Kate Cooper, who after a terrifying encounter with a tornado years back is lured back into the open fields by her friend to test out a groundbreaking new tracking system. She soon crosses paths with storm chaser Tyler Owens, and they soon find themselves mixed with each other and in a fight for survival. When the storm ceases, they find themselves and sees a massive amount of systems converging over central Oklahoma and must find a way to save millions of lives. Now, I have seen the original film a fair while ago, and it is a decent film, and hopefully the likes of the film will bring back the vibe of a classic 90s disaster action film. Now we will see how that turns out when the new film releases in cinemas on July 19th. Now the final trailer for this week will have to be bring a bit of silence to a new and dangerous threat to the world, as we have received an all-new trailer for the upcoming prequel spin-off to the series of A Quiet Place with Day One. This new film will not be set in the rural wilderness, but now be set in the massive bustling city of the Big Apple and follow the journey of Sam as she must survive with a man named Eric when strange bloodthirsty alien creatures with bulletproof skin crashes onto the planet, and soon it will be a fight for survival to escape the city while showing the reason why the world went quiet. Now I really enjoyed the first two films in this series with an interesting idea, and it's intriguing to see a new perspective how the events of this invasion looks like from a massive city setting, and maybe as a way to explain where they came from maybe in this film as well. And I'm excited to check this film out when this releases in the cinemas very soon, so the end of next month on June 28th. And with all that, that's all the trailers that we have for this week.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
So we start off the week of news stories with some of the news that will have us looking to the sky as we talk on the Man of Steel himself. Now, as we're all aware, we do know the likes of there being a new Superman movie in the works that is being directed by James Gunn and starring young David Corenswet as the symbol of hope. Now, we have not seen much on the project apart from the one image on the chest logo to announce the production on the film had started, and many had wondered when we would see the suit or the man in full, but thankfully it seems like that call had been answered. Now, on Monday this week, James Gunn and David's social medias were brought to attention across the interwebs when they unveiled the first look at the suit for the new Superman, as he's taking his time to put on his boots while devastation is going on outside by an unknown force. And besides him letting a city be left in chaos, we can focus on the suit, and it seems to be going for a more classic look and feels a more bright and hopeful style of yesteryear, and going back to the look with the red pants over the suit to give it that classic look. And I believe it's a little inspired by the suit of the most recent Adult Swim Superman series, as was the case of the Kingdom Come or All-Star Superman storyline comic books. Now, I think that it does look like a great suit, though of course I've seen some complaints online, one being on look and the other from a group that will call it cheap compared to what came before. Now, the base of the first bit is that they say that the suit looks a little loose on him, like he's not that bulky, which you can kind of see in the photo, but then it was kind of proven in case that went away when I think the day after David posted a photo of him looking absolutely swole. But as a case, it makes sense for him to look a little less bulky, as if you can expect Kal-El to blend into society, that you can have some muscle but still look normal or less suspicious working for a newspaper company if you're absolutely a massive unit. Now, this is not Cavill anyway in that case. The other group, of course, is the excessive diehard fans of Snyder, who say that it looks like a cheap suit or something from a CW show, even though the one from Superman and Lois still looked pretty good. And we'll say it does not have as much of a flair as Cavill's, but I say it is too quick to judge on that basis alone and give it some time to show the performance. Though then again, they also would the same to Pattinson, so I don't know idea. But I think to me, this suit looks really great, and hopefully we get the tone and feel right of the characters in the likes of the 70s films, or of the comics about the symbol of hope and everything like that. But I'm sure you will see more as the development comes along before next year's release in July. But what are your thoughts on this Superman suit, and do you think it looks good or bad, and what are your opinions on hoping to see what superhero suit we'll see next? Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments down here, and we'll discuss it there. Now next we got a bit of tech news, and we're going to get a brief update on one of the talking tech pieces in relation to the upcoming successor to the Nintendo Switch. Now, it has been a minute since we've actually talked about the console, but we did get some news this week, as well as some more spec rumors for the upcoming system, as well as related news to confirm some info. So on the basis of the news for this week, it was confirmed by the president of Nintendo that we will be seeing an unveiling of the actual hybrid console successor sometime within this next fiscal year, which in this case will be anywhere between now and the end of March 2025. With other elements of rumors that this console may release within the next fiscal year, but that last point is currently speculation. It also comes to be the case of the same news announcement that we are getting a confirmation of the new Nintendo Direct coming out sometime next month, but if it confirmed, they will not be unveiling the console at that time, but rather focus on new releases for the latter half of this year for the Nintendo Switch. So I find this reasonable, but I feel they could be simple tease at the very end of the direct. It might twist it. People might take assumptions, but that's my guess. But now on the basis of the other piece of news related to some specs on the upcoming console, with some elements we know is so far is that they're aiming for another hybrid console. The screen will be more larger, but with a standard LED screen, with an OLED form probably coming sometime soon. It could be as powerful to the likes of a previous generation console like the high-end PlayStation and Xbox consoles. Not sure about the new ones, maybe could be close to it, as well as the projected price. On the basis the Joy-Cons may be connected by the likes of some magnet type feed similar instead of the, click in one. But who knows. But now the newest one is basically a new information or spec is something to do with a major issue that the first Switch had, which is about battery life. You see, while in handheld, playing some big games like Breath of the Wild or Wind Waker or Witcher or similar to it, one of the major noticeable effects that was the battery life in handheld would only last around 4 to 6 hours depending on length and some of that, and would seem low compared to other handhelds at the time and even from older Nintendo products. But it seems that the new form will fix this, but with a little bit of a cost. Now, according to the YouTuber of Moore's Law is Dead, it seems to be the case that the Switch will have what is known as an underclock that will be as low as 800 megahertz, which it's done so will help in longer battery life, less power consumption, and will also reduce the level of overheating the console could face as well. I've known a case when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom all the way through, it was a bit overheating in some capacity. Now, at the moment, it's just some speculation on the upcoming project, and it is based to take all speculation with a grain of salt, of course. And we can find out all if the info is true once the console becomes unveiled to the masses, but we'll have to wait and see when that is. But what are your thoughts on this unveilment of a new console form, and do you think this is all accurate, or do you think there's going to be other speculation? And when exactly do you think we're going to have this unveiled? I'm thinking similar to how the Switch was announced. I'm thinking probably maybe October, but it could be earlier. I have no idea. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Now, this week saw a lot of new announcements of new projects, updates, and some production starts, as well as some update release dates. That there was so much content to talk about this week that I felt it was only right to put all into one big news story, besides some casting news that I'll leave for a separate story. So we have a lot to cover, so bear with me as I try and fly through this as quick as I can.
All right, you gotta write all that down because I'm not gonna remember any of it, but here we go.
Okay, so we start off the news of announcements this week as we have been returning to the world of Middle-earth and Mordor, as was announced earlier this week that we'll be getting another new film based on the world of the Lord of the Rings on J.R.R. Tolkien's. Now, we do have one coming out this Christmas of War of the Rohirrim, but this is a new live-action film and will be based on everyone's favourite power-possessed cave dweller of Smeagol, of my precious. As was announced that they will be getting a film entitled Lord of the Rings The Hunt for Gollum, and it will be directed and starring Andy Serkis, again as Smeagol, and will be produced by Peter Jackson. Now, it does sound interesting, but also sounds like I wonder if this game will be based on the critically panned Gollum game from last year. But it also comes to the case that this has caused a bit of drama online as it is. You see, 15 years ago, back in 2009, a group of fans made a fan film called The Hunt for Gollum, and now the case Warner Bros. Has come along and struck it down as copyright infringement, which has caused a lot of complaints on issues, which of course is a sense of scabbiness from the company when they say they are the only studio that provides stories of entertainment, which I still say is complete bullshit, and you can see from my video from the past where I've made that joke. I do hope that they fix this error and things can go back on track, and hopefully the project turns out well, but it remains to be seen at the moment. Next on news is the confirmation that the second season of Wednesday has officially entered production right here in my home country of Ireland, with the unveiling of a big cast photo of them in front of the window. Also, I may or may not have seen Miss Ortega spot around the city capital of Dublin myself and on social media, as well as hearing Mr. Burton was spotted having a drink somewhere in town. Now, it does also confirm some of the massive new cast, including Steve Buscemi and Fatui Newton, and a guest appearance by Christopher Lloyd, who did play Uncle Fester back in the 90s Addams Family movies themselves. There is, however, one absent cast member, and that's with Percy Hines, as has been dropped from the series due to some allegations of sexual harassment, friending messages to women between the ages of 18 to 20, and even possible messaging of minors, so it's the only right they kick him off. Now, I'm sure that more screenshots will start to appear online as production over time, and people will probably get photo press of the sets, but I'm sure if they look for extras, I'll sign up, please. If you need people, you need weirdos, I'm the biggest weird right here. But I'm sure we'll hopefully turn out well. We'll have to see when that production goes along. Next announcement came in the form that we'll be getting a film based on the young Sylvester Stallone about this creation of the popular all-time classic film of Rocky. Now, not much else is known on this at the moment, but it has been confirmed that this will be directed or worked on by Peter Farrelly. And besides that, we have no other idea what else there is to the project and when we can expect to see it, but I will update later pieces when that happens. Now, after a fair bit of time and speculation, we have finally gotten some new looks at the all-new animated series continuation type series of the animated series of Batman Caped Crusader. And besides some new looks at the series itself, we've also gotten an official release date for the series, with the first 10 episode season dropping all in full on August 1st of this year on Amazon Prime. Now in most cases, I'm sure you will receive a trailer for this series in very short due time, but so far from the images above and some other ones released, it does look like a really exciting and anticipated series to check out in due time. And now another series that released a confirmation that I would not expected to see, but made into a follow-up, is the sequel television series of the adult 2016 animated comedy film of Sausage Party with Foodtopia, and this will be premiering on Amazon Prime as well, starting on July 11th. Now, it's unclear on where the series will follow, if it's going to be a case of where the end of the last movie were them traveling to the real world, discovering that they were cartoons, or if they focus these food products making and building a society for themselves for Frank and his friends. Now, it's been the longest time since I watched this film and experienced what the hell happened at the end of that movie. What the fuck happened in that film? But I'm intrigued to see what this could end up like, but I'm sure I will check this out when it drops in July. But in some more good news that I'm happy about, it has also been confirmed earlier this week that we are getting a second season to the popular comedy TV series of Ted that will contain the stories of Ted and Johnny on them growing up in the 90s to where they are in the films. Now, I've seen this series, I really enjoyed it, and I will hope this series will have the same charm and humor of the first season for more new adventures, and I'd say probably another year or two before we get that one. Another small update as well as another project, and that's the confirmation that the third film of the Tron series with Ares has officially wrapped filming this week and confirmed with a new image of Jared Leto's character that was released onto social media. Now I can see that hopefully it will be good, but it can be a little mixed about Leto's performance, that if he goes too method, it can affect stuff, but I'm sure we'll see how it turns out when it looks at the time the film releases next October. The second last announcement piece is the confirmation that we are actually getting a sequel series to the two entries in the series of Blade Runner, with Blade Runner 2099 with Prime on Amazon Prime Video as well. Not much else is known when we can expect it, but we do have one confirmed cast member joining this project, and that comes in the form of Oscar-winning actress of Michelle Yeoh has joined. Now it's unclear if the likes of Dennis Villeneuve or Ridley Scott will be involved in the project, or any other member of the previous film's cast, but I'm sure we will learn more about this series over time. And the last one of the new announcement updates is that after releasing the newest entry just a little over a month ago, we have confirmation that a sequel to Godzilla x Kong is now in development for the Monsterverse, and is now with a writer in the form of David Callahan, who's known credited as the writer for the Shang-Chi movie and also one of the directors on Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I enjoyed New Empire for the basis of the world building and the giant monster fighting action, and it's a case that I wouldn't mind checking this new film out when it does release, and once I do hear any updates on it, I will update you in a later piece. Now, after all that, I'd like to know your own thoughts on everything announced in the story. I would like to know, are you excited for any of them in particular? Let me know what your own thoughts and opinions are on any of them down below in the comments. Now, this next story is a collection of two pieces that connect to the same universe, and the first bit is going to be focused on casting news, as I mentioned earlier, and another based on the actual franchise itself. And we're of course talking about the film industry giant of the MCU. Now, over the last few weeks, we have seen some announcements and unveiling of cast members for one of the upcoming anticipated projects, and this comes in the form of the Fantastic Four. Now, we've seen some cast announcements over the weeks, including the main four, and even the female version of the Silver Surfer, but now we have the announcement of two more additions, and that joint selection of some big name members of the cast. As was announced on Wednesday or Thursday of this week, as the announcement of the casting of both John Malkovich and Ralph Ineson have been cast in the film, and while Malkovich's role has yet to be disclosed who he's playing, we do know that it's been confirmed that Ineson has been cast in the role as the Planet Eater of Galactus, making him presumably the villain of the new film. Now, I can see that casting works well going off their work in the past or in previous other films, that he can bring the sense of gravitas to the performance, and both will join selection of slowly growing actors to the performance that I think turns out to be a pretty decent stacked cast. Now, that was where the story was to end, but there's some small update when it comes to the basis of the massive franchise itself of the MCU. Now, as you've been seeing over the last few years, the likes of the MCU has been seeing a fair bit of hit and miss when it comes to its content, and mainly it comes down to the excessive amount every year that comes from it, from films, specials, and TV series that are introduced from Disney Plus since 2021. That has made keeping on top of the timeline a bit of a mess, and also the basis of keeping the appeal and quality of those releases a mixed opinion, from well received, mixed results, to critically panned, two films in particular. Well, it seems now in the case that Disney may have heard the complaints, and they are now taking some actions, as they have now decided to go back to the form of the quality over quantity approach to their releases and reduce the amount that comes out every year, in order for one, to make the saga last longer, the release of where the Infinity Saga was over 10 years, this so far has been nearly 5, and two, to bring back the appeal and box office success of the franchise they had been experiencing up to the very end of the Infinity Saga. Now, this is the form informed of the plan to release at the most minimum about 2 or max 3 films a year, and a minimum about 2 TV shows on Disney Plus as well each year. Now, it's still a fair bit of content each year and could be reduced where it's a total max of like 3 pieces a year, which I think would make more sense. But I'm sure we can see how this goes about by looking at maybe this year. We know confirmed already that we've seen the Echo series earlier this year. The only confirmed movie from the MCU this year is of course Deadpool and Wolverine. We might get something else maybe in the form of like, I don't know, another TV show like Agatha Darkhold Diaries, or maybe that Ironheart series or something, but I don't know yet. I do see the agreement about quality over quantity. This kind of case is more better approach. So hopefully I do see this case happening where they actually give more time for stuff, build on it, and actually appeal it more. So we'll have to see how this turns out. Hopefully maybe this year we'll see an example of how, less content is good and stretching out a bit will help appeal for it more, but we'll have to see how it goes. But what are your thoughts on both of these news stories? What are your opinions on the casting for the Fantastic Four? And also, do you think that this choice about, the reducing of the Marvel content each year is a good thing? Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. And with all of that, that's all the news that we have for this week. And with all of that now, that brings us to the end of episode 51 of Weird Mind Newsroom. I hope you enjoyed watching my content in particular and the weekly stuff. I'm just going to case as well mention, if you want to check out my previous one as well as my big 50th one, where I talked a lot about stuff, some bits about this week, you can check it out below my channel as well, or all my other stuff there as well. Even subscribe if you like, this kind of that case. Anyways, some updates on some other stuff. So yeah, reviews. There's going to be a few more added onto that list, including Fall Guy, Back to Black, and the Planet Apes one, of course. I might do some Back to Black and a few other ones from maybe the last year or this year, make them to shorts on YouTube Shorts, at least I can get more of an audience view on this. I just find in case some films I might have some ideas stretching out a bit, sometimes might shorten them, I don't know. But in other cases as well, update another one, the Has Been Hotel review might be up by the time this video goes up. I'm just currently, as of recording this, I'm just finishing up on the episode stuff, so it might be a little bit more time, but I'm gonna make it a little bit chunky and having a great basis where I've had the filter of the radio demon voice, but you'll see in the video anyway. Other stuff, Rewatchathon will be coming along as well. I'm gonna try and figure out gameplays and stuff. I've just been here and everywhere. I'm literally been awake at this point of recording this. I've been awake for about 36 hours. I was up last night doing the Darkness to Light, which is a great cause, for suicide prevention, because many people are lonely and lead their lives, and it's that case I want to spread awareness kind of thing, and just be there for moral support and for raising funds and stuff like that. Just it's a good positive thing. Other stuff more long form essays and other shit is coming along. I'm gonna try and look into other bits what I had on my list from the content you expect on my channel, and go see what I had there and see what the case is. Might figure something nice for maybe the year anniversary of my channel, but I'll figure something out. But yeah, can't think of anything else. I probably rambled on enough there anyway. But yeah, more reviews are coming, long form reviews are coming, Rewatchathon's coming, gameplays will eventually come. I just gotta figure out again a capture card or something, or figure out to connect consoles to my OBS on this laptop without maybe a capture card, or just in some methods, but I'll figure it out. If you give me ideas, let me know. I'm doing this as I'm fucking exhausted. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed listening to my ramblings again for another week. And if you did, and you'd like to see more from me and more content more frequently, then why not like the video and subscribe, as I upload weekly and I want to kind of build more of an audience while I'm still looking for work and shit like that. And if you want to hire me for work and for paying me, please, I'll edit your videos and I'll give you great reviews and stuff like that. I'll praise you on the channels. Also, the case little thing as well, I've got a time this probably goes out. I want to wish a happy birthday to my big bro and sis. Turn a big 26, hard disbelief. You have me as your younger brother, as the middle child in the house, so you gotta deal with me. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. So with all that, you all stay being wonderful people, because you all are wonderful people. Have a great day every day, and keep being you, because no one else can do what you do. And I'll see you all in the next video. So take care, everyone, and goodbye.